Ola a todos, which Google Translate reliably informs me means hello everyone. Welcome to the new series on the channel. I hope you will enjoy it. As you may have seen on Twitter and as you can see on screen, we are going to be taking over Malaga. Now, a bit of a different series this. I said that I wasn't going to be taking charge in England. And yeah, a nice little challenge. But thanks for that, tumble dryer. Just giving me a bit of background noise there. Um, Yes, I have put together a little package explaining why Malaga and giving you a little bit of background, and I will join you on the other side on the first day of the season. Malaga Club de Football was originally founded in 1904 under the name Malaga Football Club. This was mainly because in the area, as Malaga is a sort of seaside port town, there was a lot of influence from the UK because of trade, and the club was formed with the football club ending. But after a few name changes, it was changed to the form that we know now as Malaga Club de Football in 1994. When this incarnation of Malaga was born, the club was in the third tier of Spanish football, but by 1999 they had made their way to La Liga. In the last 20 years, the club has spent the majority of its time playing in the top flight, but in 2006, Malaga finished bottom of La Liga and were relegated. After a two-season stint away, they were promoted again to the top flight in 2008. So 2 years out of 20 in the second division isn't too bad. In that 20-year period, the club's best league finish came in 2012 when they finished fourth. By this time, the club had been taken over by a Qatari investor, and the club was starting to splash out money on big name signings such as Jeremy Toulon, Santi Cazorla, and Ruud van Nistelrooy. In 2012-13, after the club had qualified for the Champions League for the first time the previous season, Manuel Pellegrini led his side impressively to the quarter-finals of the Champions League before they were knocked out by German side Borussia Dortmund. Due to failing financial fair play at the end of that season, Malaga were banned from European football for the next season. Because of league position, they would have played in Europa League, but because of the ban, they were not allowed to. Due to the club's debts, many big-name players were sold, such as Isco to Real Madrid, and Manuel Pellegrini was replaced as manager, likely bringing in a cheaper option. Although league positions in the following seasons were respectable for the situation that the club found themselves in financially, last season, the 17-18 season, Malaga once again finished bottom of La Liga, getting relegated to the Segunda Division. At the time of recording this, on the 7th of January, despite being the favourites to win the title and make an immediate return to the top flight, Malaga currently sit fourth in the table, only 3 points off the top. So then, why Malaga? Well, for a football manager journey, taking Malaga from where they are now to the lofty heights that they once reached, I think will be a challenge and one that I'm certainly looking forward to. After the pain of relegation last season, I want to revive them and lift them back up. Welcome then to La Resurreccion. Right, we are at the first game of the season. A couple of things to tell you about. I won't go through everything. Mainly the players as well. We just meet them as and when we need to. In terms of, I'll show you the tactic in a minute. Actually, let's talk about friendlies quickly. It wasn't the greatest start to friendlies. We had a pre-season tour of France. I've only heard of one of these teams, the first one, but it took us a little while to get used to the system. But then once we found our feet, we were okay. But I was slightly concerned. I am slightly concerned for the season ahead. We are supposed to go up as champions, but if we play like we did in some of these games, we might have a bit of a tricky task in our hand. And we do have a tricky game to start the season away at Elche. They did get promoted last season from the third tier of Spanish football, which is confusing as hell. But they have been in La Liga before, so it won't be an easy game. And there's some quite good teams at this level, so it will certainly be a challenge. If we have a look at transfers, I was given a fairly generous budget. Some of that I've not got any more transfers in mind at the moment. I'm happy with the business that I've done, but you know, if someone pops up, then I'll definitely go for them. So the only significant out then is this guy, Federico Rica. He went to Watford for 2.6 million, could potentially rise to just over 3 million. He was transfer listed at the start of the game. I'm guessing because they got relegated, some of their bigger stars were transfer listed to try and get rid of them. He was one of these guys. I did take him off the transfer list because he was going to be my backup left back, but he wanted to go. Watford came in, and 3 million overall I thought was a decent enough bid for a backup, so I've let him go. They've obviously sent him out on loan straight away. So the first man as an in then is Hector Justy. Yeah, let's go with Hector. Um, one weakness that this squad had, they only had one centre back of any decence. So that was an area that I needed to improve straight away. This guy is Spanish. I signed him for 1.1 million. He was playing in Cyprus, but as you can see, he's got plenty of experience at this level. So yeah, I think he will be a decent addition. Also love a number 8 playing at centre half. 30 years old, but he's on a decent contract. But my scouts were ranting and raving about him. Not quite. The coach report isn't as quite as good as the scout report, but look at those. Some decent stats: 14 heading, 14 marking, tackling, really good mentals, and yeah, strength, jump and reach. He's a decent centre half, and I thought him and the guy that I have at the moment would form a good partnership. That is until we made our second signing, which is Flavio Ramos. We signed him for 450k. Yes, we did, from a side in the top division in Portugal, even though I've not heard of them before. But he is Brazilian. He did come on the cheap. And this guy, 3-star current ability, but 4-star potential. Again, has got some really good stats: 14 heading, marking 15, tackling 14. Decent mentals, physicals are a bit better than Hector as well. He's only 24, so obviously he's got a little bit of time to grow into that potential. But yeah, I've sort of, as soon as Flavio came in, I've decided to sort of put him in instead of Hector. So he's been doing all right, and yeah, another centre back in the van. And the last signing that we have made is 24-year-old French right midfielder. I got caught between saying winger and midfielder then. Jimmy Cabot, or I guess because he's French, it'll be Cabot. But yeah, 1.8 million we spent on him from FC Lorient in France. But this guy is just really to give us an extra option. As you can see, he can play on both wings. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. He can play up front if necessary as well. Got some decent stats: 15 dribbling, passing technique's quite good. He's fairly quick, decent crossing as well. So yeah, just another option out wide really. So in terms of tactics, we're going with the 4-2-3-1. We are playing control possession like we did at Liverpool, but I have changed the style up. In case anyone is wondering as well, the backup tactic, I've gone with a 4-4-2. Haven't played it in pre-season though. This is what I've gone for. So, as an English football fan, you may be aware of some of these players. But yeah, let me introduce you. So, in goal we've got Munir, who is a Moroccan, 29-year-old. He's played at this level or sort of around Spain. Yeah, as you can see, Spain in this level all his career, so won't be familiar to many of you, I'd imagine. But he is capped by Morocco, so it's not too bad. At right back, we have Luis Hernandez, 29-year-old. He's a good player for this level, as you can see, 3.5-star ability. Leicester fans will recognise him. He made 4 appearances in the Premier League for Leicester before Malaga signed him in the January that Leicester bought him. But yeah, a solid option at right back. He can also play centre back as well. But right back's where I'm going to be deploying him. So yeah, very good. I think he's the captain as well. Oh, I can't remember, actually. No, he's not the captain. This man is the captain. The guy who I was on about, the centre back we already had, David Lomban. 3.5-star ability again. Got some really good stats. Is getting a bit old now, 31. But he is our best defender. Can play a ball-playing defender role as well, which is vital for our system. But yeah, David Lomban, everyone. Where has he played? I mean, he was at Barca B for a while, started at Valencia. But yeah, lots of experience around this level. So we've already seen Flavio Ramos as well. Diego Gonzalez is a promising youngster, 23, 3-star ability, 4-star potential ability. Can play in a variety of positions, but this is the guy that was going to outfavour Rica in the left back spot. I believe he came, yeah, so he was at Sevilla before Malaga bought him last season. But yeah, this guy I think is going to grow into something pretty good. Again, he's got a little bit of time to grow into that potential. He's been capped at under 21 level as well. But yeah, I think a solid back four that we've got at the club. So the ball winning midfield role, Alfred and Dye. This guy might be familiar to a few English football fans. We've got him on loan from Villarreal. He was already here when we started the game. Naturally a defensive midfielder, can also play centre midfield and a variety of other positions. But yeah, he's had a few loan spells in England as well. So I initially heard of him. I remember him when he played for Sunderland, had a couple of loan spells away, but he was at Hull a couple of seasons ago. Wolves the season before last season. Sorry, didn't even realise he was at Wolves. But yeah, so he's got decent pedigree, played at a decent level, and yeah, he's good player to have alongside this man, arguably the best player at the club. Adrian Gonzalez. Now, I'll probably refer to him as Adrian because we've already got Diego Gonzalez. This guy is 30 years old, so time's not on his side, but four-star ability. Just look how well-rounded he is. All of his stats at least double figures, which is superb. But he's going to be, yeah, dictating the midfield. And yeah, I think he's going to be a pretty special player. So out on the right, we did have Cabo, but I'm going to go with the man who was already here, Renato Santos. 3-star ability, 3.5-star potential. Again, got decent stats, probably a little bit better than Cabo in the areas that are a bit more important. Better crossing, I think he's got better technique. He's probably got, I'm not sure about work rate, but yeah, 26-year-old Portuguese. In terms of where he's played, well, there you go. In Portugal, he's bought this season for Malaga, so he's had it, playing at Boavista, who are a decent Portuguese side. So yeah, he's going to be our starting right winger today. On the left-hand side, Danny Pacheco. He will be familiar to you Liverpool fans. That's where he started his career. He did play a couple of games for Liverpool, had a loan spell at Norwich, but obviously couldn't quite cut it. So he's played in Spain for the majority, whether it be loans or frees. And yeah, Malaga picked him up on a free this season. Again, really good player, 3.5-star ability, 4-star potential, 27, so probably about to hit his peak, but he's got some great stats. I was toying with playing this guy up front, but we've got a lot of loan options up front, so I want to give those a try first. But if not, we could resort to playing Pacheco as as a striker. Like 15 finishing, 16 dribbling, first touch is good. So yeah, his preferred position is out on the left. He has played well out there, so I want to continue playing him there. But yeah, he's a good or offers us a lot of options. Number 10 role then, Juan P, the Venezuelan 24-year-old. There's been a lot of I've seen in real life a few decent clubs are after him, and in this save, Newcastle I believe are in for him. Who's it? Celta Vigo. Okay, so he's wanted by decent sides. But yeah, he's very well equipped to do very well in this position. Capped by Venezuela as well, with 15 dribbling and first touch, good long shots as well, passing technique. His vision is really good, so he can play that killer ball. And yeah, I'm really excited as to what he can offer. And then up top, we have Hector, who is on loan from Atletico Madrid. He's wanting a little bit. Only 2.5-star current ability. All the strikers we have are 2.5-star current ability, but Hector's got 3.5-star potential. He did have a bit of a quiet pre-season. He did score a goal in the last game, as you can see down the bottom. 5 games in pre-season, 1 goal, 1 assist, only a 6.8 average rating. But he has got some promising stats: 13 finishing, 13 heading. He's not quite as quick as maybe we would want, but again, decent composure, decent off the ball. So I'm hoping he can provide something for the team. In terms of anyone else, Müller, no one really. I mean, you'll meet these players later on. So this is the starting 11 that I'm going with. This is the system that we are going to have. Let's get stuck straight into the game against Elche. Okay, Elche playing an interesting system. Have I heard of any of their players? I don't think so. I doubt I will have heard of many at this level. But let's see what the assistant note. I've noticed that since there's been an update on FM, assistant manager advice to team talks always just seems to be don't say anything, which is really not helpful. Because normally I do take charge of team talks when I'll be playing on a square pitch. Excellent. Right, so we're gonna have to zoom out a little bit. This is awful. This is more like a hockey pitch than a bloody football pitch. Um, Also, as well, you see the kit in the corner. Um, I did get real life kits added, as you might tell. We got some club badges and kits and all that sort of stuff. Um, and helpfully, I couldn't find a kit like pack for the Spanish second division, which is always good. Juan P. Oh, what a lovely finish! As I'm talking, just goes on a lovely run, slots it in the bottom corner. What a start we've made to this game. Um, yeah, added badges and kits and face packs and stuff, but I couldn't find a kit pack for the Spanish second division, which is excellent because that's in the division that I'm in. I did try and add Malaga's kits from last season, but for whatever reason it hasn't worked. So if one gets released, a Spanish second division kit pack, then I will definitely add it. But for now, unfortunately, we're going to have to stay like this as Juan P goes for a ambitious long range effort. But yeah, a good start it has been. Like I said, I was a bit worried at how we would get on this season because we didn't play brilliantly. But hopefully now we've sort of they've adjusted to the system and they've found their footing a little bit. Then Pacheco with a free kick. Oh, and he scored, tucks it in the near post. Jose Juan could not keep it out. It's been a great start. 21 minutes gone. It is Elche nil, Malaga 2. And we are playing rather well, which is surprising. Um, in terms of transfers, like I said, I've got a decent allocation of budget. Pacheco with another free kick. Oh my word, Hector's there, and it is in. I thought he might be offside, but the man whose question marks over his head has scored a goal, albeit it was a rebound. But 3-0, lovely stuff. Yeah, in terms of transfers, like I said, I got a generous kitty. I think it was about just under 4 million with a decent amount of wage budget as well. And then selling Rika as well. We seem to retain quite a lot of that transfer, so it gave me a little bit. And obviously the transfers I made are quite cheap, so managed to do some business. So, like we saw, we got just under 2 million, I think, in transfer budget. I have been looking at another centre back because I like to have sort of a decent amount of players to pick from, and I was quite surprised actually at the caliber of player that we were able to attract. Obviously, we are a second division team, but I suppose we are just been relegated, and we are favourites to go back up. So reputation probably didn't take too much of a hit. Um, but yeah, a lot of sort of championship level players, and a lot of players that obviously I recognise being a championship fan myself. Um, I was looking at sort of players like a couple of Leeds centre backs, I think. The one from Middlesbrough, what's his name, Ayala. Um, but as ever with English clubs, they just priced us out of moves really. I did do a test run of this series actually. Well, I say this series. I did a sort of half season save with Malaga just to see how it would go, and in that save I actually signed Liam Cooper from Leeds because the Spanish love a bit of Scotland, and I'm sure he would have ripped up Malaga nights out on the town. But yeah, so they're definitely interested in coming. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, after we'd made a couple of signings, we just couldn't quite afford that player. There was one player that I was really interested in was Pontus Jansson from Leeds, and yeah, Leeds wanted at least 6.5 million for him. I just couldn't quite afford it. I'm going to make a substitution, keep things fresh because we have got some tough games to start the season. So I think if we take off Juan P, who can play in that role? I'm just Okay, Pacheco can play there, so that's fine. We're bringing out Alex Mueller. Alex Mueller is quite a promising youngster, as you can see, 4-star potential, 3.5 star. We have a lot of options on the left hand side, sort of natural left hand side. There is one player that I've sent out on loan, who was very similar, sort of 3.5 star or 3 star and lots of potential. I think his name's Javier Ontiveros. Some of you may have heard of him, but like when I started the game, he was wanted, and I looked at the teams that wanted him: Arsenal, United, City, all the big teams wanted him. But we have so many options on the left-hand side, I wasn't really gonna play him. So I thought I'll send him out on loan because that way. if I'm not playing him, he's not going to get unhappy. Big teams aren't going to bid for him if he's out on loan. I'm going to bring Mehdi Layson on. He is 34-year-old Algerian. Again, solid up. We've got some good options in the central midfield area. Played in Spain the majority of his career at La Liga level as well, plenty of games. So he had a really good pre-season actually. He's he's very similar ilk to Ndai, but I do prefer Ndai in that role. I just think Ndai's got age on his side, so he's a bit more dynamic in that role. But Layson is really good, and his experience is shown through in the friendlies. Second half has been a bit quiet. Let's just change this up as well. Overview. I was actually gonna do replays on this series, but I had them off for pre-season. I've forgotten to turn those on, so apologies. I will have them once again. One more substitution. Let's who are we gonna take off? Let's take off Santos and let's have a look at Jimmy Cabo. But I will change. Let's change those around. Muller does prefer to be a winger, so we'll just have a look at what Jimmy Cabo can offer. But yeah, solid start. I was a bit worried, but we've done really well actually in this game. We got it signed, sealed, delivered early on. Although saying that, Elche might have a chance here. Benja. Oh no, can we break now? It's 2 against 2. If Muller can get his getting going, Hector. He shoots. What a goal that is! I was expecting him to play it out to the right hand side where Cabo was waiting unmarked. But after criticising him, he's come up with a performance today, and that goal was absolutely superb from Hector. Lovely finish, and yeah, that is really going to wrap things up. I was not 4-0. I was not expecting this, and I think that is going to be game over as we just lump it forward. And I don't know where Elche are predicted to finish. To be fair, they might be predicted to finish fairly low as they have just been promoted. But all the same, 4-0 away from home against any team is superb. Well done, lads. That was a good result indeed. So we've got Las Palmas next in the league. If we have a look, okay, so yeah, Elche, I mean, they're not predicted to get relegated, but they are going to be down there, so we will have tougher games. So yeah, as you can see, and it looks like our main rivals are going to be sort of Deportivo La Coruña, Las Palmas as well. The three sides that are all relegated from La Liga. Okay, so in terms of when we'll be back, I think I want to keep this series sort of quite regular in terms of when I upload, especially the first season as well. And then, you know, if and when we get promoted, and because I imagine we won't sort of challenge European places in La Liga straight away. That will probably take a while. So the seasons where we're just sort of stuck in mid-table in La Liga, there will probably be fewer episodes. But yeah, so this first season we'll have a bit more regularity. If we come back, maybe for the Zaragoza game at the end of a hard month, we'll sort of recoup and we'll have a look at how the first season has gone. But yeah, that's going to be it for the opening episode. I hope you're looking forward to the series. I certainly am. If you've enjoyed it, stick a thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for more Malaga on this channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.